Hello everyone, this is John from PokerVIP.com, and in this video we are continuing on with the life of Blizzy, the ups and downs of Blizzy, the degen that is Blizzy, the broke Bilzerian, our good friend Blizzy. If you've seen any of the videos before, or if this is your first one, Blizzy is basically a friend of ours who is a complete degenerate. He doesn't play poker for a living, he's just here to have some fun. He deposited some money, he won 20k, he lost 20k, he won 10k, he lost 10k, he's up and down 5k every single day, and yeah, he's basically a good friend of mine, and he was kind enough to record it. He's a big sports bettor, really gets involved there, and like I say, he's just a bit crazy basically. He wants to be on the Sky Poker TV. He loves playing like just for action, and yeah, this video will be a mixed one by looks of it. We've got 2-4, 2-5, 5-10, 2-4, and 2-5. Seems like he's doing pretty well. He has told me about some of the players. Lockdown, he won £20,000 from on New Year's Eve, so he said he is the mark. He said he won't fold to him pre-flop, and if he hits a pair, he will call. Um, Rosie Dog, I personally know, is a reg. JH is a reg. Tamas is a reg. I owned You's a reg. Styles a reg, so pretty reg infested games to be honest. So lack has to be the reason why these games are running, or of course Blizzy could be the reason. So here we're pocket eights. Looks like we opened, got peeled from the big blind and c-bet a queen 3-6. And like I say, a lot of this will just be me commentating. I'll hopefully be able to chime in with some strategy to help him change his game. I've personally been trying to do it off the tables, trying to change his bet sizing and whatnot. He snapped him off with eights here. I don't know if that's a great call because of the bet sizing. It looks like pure value to me. I think we should probably just fold that. The guy can definitely have a flush. He can have a big queen. He can even have a full house or even trips. Looks like with 3-bet pocket threes from the small blind, I probably wouldn't do that versus Tamas. He's a very good player. I might just fold pre-flop there. 7-8 suited we peeled versus Rosie Dog. We are pretty deep. Can't be too bad. Pair of threes looks like we are just shutting down and hoping to go to showdown. We do have the three of spades, which who knows could be good if we hit the flush, but looks like we're just going to fold, which I think is the right play. Probably just fold pre-flop there. Maybe even peel, you know, being nearly 200 big blinds deep, but probably opt on folding. Ace-4 suited, definitely an open. So Blizzy will basically play any two cards. He'll be super aggressive. He will bet. He will call. And yeah, he's just a crazy mofo. So the ace-4 suited, he decided to c-bet a king queen 8. Sorry. It does hit owned You's range a little bit there. He's gonna have lots of pairs, lots of draws, but we do get his smaller pocket pairs to fold, so it's not all bad. I guess we can get called by small suited connectors, 6, 7 of hearts and so on, so we even do get called by worse hands, but that do have good equity versus us. Once we've been led out into here, I just find the fold, yeah. Lots of action going on, you can see table 2 there. Lockdown's got £3,200 on a 2-5 game. He seems to be bombing pretty big on this ace-8 queen 5-5. He'll be definitely the person you want to watch out for. King queen suited here, 3-bet or peel, probably 3-bet in these games. We're going to get called by a lot worse at, these higher stakes. We do get peeled. We just have to be a bit confident post-flop. We've gone really big there, 3/4 pot. I don't think we actually need to go that big there on the ace-high flop. I think we could probably just go, half pot, 2/3. We've peeled 5-8 suited from the big blind versus the button. I think that's absolutely fine. And we lead once he goes check on the flop. And we have a flush draw. Pair of eights, top right hand corner. We called pre. We could 3-bet or call. Probably calling is the most standard option. Definitely calling that flop. I'd be calling this turn also because he's going to bomb into a lot of his club draws. I think that's maybe a bit too passive there with the pocket eights. Pair of fives here, so it looks like his general strategy is to 3-bet these smaller pairs pre. Worked nicely there versus JH. I don't have too much experience with JH. I do know he's a reg. I'm not too sure if I've played him personally, but I see him on the site a lot. So maybe just open folds a lot on the button. Big pot there, King 8 versus King 9. Nice 8 ball on the river. King 9 makes a thin call. Guess he thought he missed the draw. I did try to get Blizzy to start off a journey in the forum, but he kind of said he doesn't have time for that. I almost decided to start writing it myself on his behalf, but I could just never match up to his thoughts. King 8 blind versus Lockdown. If Lockdown's the crazy guy, opening's probably still fine. It's pretty close. Folding King 8 blind versus blind might be a bit too weak there, but if he is 3-betting a ton, we might get ourselves into a bit of trouble. Looks like we peeled pre with 7-2 suited, really quite wide. Ace Jack looks like we're going for a 4-bet. If we can get a lot of value pre-flop, if Lockdown does call, I think that's absolutely fine. Generally, though, I would just call in position. Ace Jack with the Ace of Hearts. I think we can be ahead a decent chunk of the time there. So calling the turn's fine, and I probably check back here. With the ace high, I think we do have some showdown value, and I don't think we need to risk £491 either. If the guy's got a weaker one pair, we can maybe bet like 265, but we instantly got jammed on there and had to fold. And isn't it crazy that the guy instantly jammed when we've got the ace of hearts? So it shows that these guys aren't just jamming the nuts there. Well, at least Lack isn't. He's not playing cautious by check calling. I very much doubt that is a bluff. So he's probably just value jamming a smaller flush. If it is a bluff, it's pretty sick. Jack 9, we open the button, hit a jack. I think that's a good c-bet. We're going to get called by a lot of draws there. I'm assuming Blizzy doesn't get that much respect at the tables if he's gambling a little bit crazy all the time. So that will play into a lot of our thought process and decision making down the line. 5-6 suited, we open under gun, we flop a gut shot. I think it's absolutely fine to bet. I think we'd bet all our over pairs. We've got the 7 of clubs there as well. We can take down the pot. We can get broadways to fold. We put his deuces, 3s, 4s, and so on in a bit of a bad spot out of position with 3 overcards. So I like that c-bet. 5-8 suited, I probably wouldn't open, but I knew he would. King 10 suited, I would probably 3-bet there. Being four-handed, I think people will be opening a bit wider, so we might be able to get a lot more folds pre-flop, and King 10 suited isn't going to play that bad if we do get called. The flop, we could have maybe check-raised there. Could have been quite a nice play, but if we don't get a lot of respect, then maybe that sort of ruins that point. 8-9 queen does hit our peeling range pre-flop. A decent chunk, so once the guy barrels again, he probably has something a bit decent. 5-8 we check down, nice. Lockdown's going crazy again on table 2, check raising the turn. Wonder if he goes all in on this river, repping some sort of 2-pair or set. He has done indeed. What will JH do? Oh, looks like we're leaving that game. See what happens here. Yeah, wow, shows a set of 5s, nice hand. A big pot for Lack there, and we weren't actually leaving the game, we've actually just moved seats. He's tried to get on the left of Lockdown. Obviously it's good to be on the left of people. One thing I've been thinking about recently is just like, if someone is crazy, like 3-betting pre-flop, and you're deep, not being on the button to their big blind isn't the worst thing in the world, because that's a lot of the times they're going to be 3-betting, so you can 4-bet and so on. But yeah, definitely better to be on the left of aggressive people. Pocket 6 is totally standard peel pre. 2 overs though, flush draws, straight draws, I'd be just check folding here. One thing you are going to see from these videos is just how soft Sky is compared to wherever you're playing. So if you want to sign up, PokerVIP.com/deals, or hit the link in the description below. 30% rate back, deposit bonus, free bankrolls, free tournament tickets, all sorts of good stuff. PokerVIP.com/deals, find the Sky Poker tab. I personally play there. I have played 5-10 a couple of times, but mostly I play the 1-2, 2-4, 2-5 games. As you can see, these are pretty crazy. I don't think they actually run that often either. 1-2 and 2-4, you're always going to find some action, but these high stakes rarely run. Like I say, it'll be Blizzy and Lockdown while they are running. Looks like we just folded 6-8 offsuit there on the button, four-handed. I think that's a fist pump open. 8-9 here. Looks like we bet once, give up. Might be able to double barrel there, but has he got this guy? Yeah, he's got this guy marked as a fish, so maybe he just thinks he never folds once he calls. Pair of tens here is definitely, I think, a 3-bet if we are Blizzy. If we're a very aggressive guy who 3-bets a lot pre-flop with junk or opens a lot pre-flop, I think we get a lot less respect, so maybe we could be getting value for all these hands. I owned you is under the gun, which is the only issue there, and we are, slightly deep. So perhaps that might make it a flat call, but I just think if we are like this crazy person with a crazy reputation, then sometimes it's fine to really start pounding these hands for value. We get check called here. I don't think people are really like going that cautious with like jacks full. I think a lot of times you're gonna have like 8s or 9s. Checking the turn's fine because we might be able to get river value from them. Once we do fill up though, yeah, we just go for a decent sized bet and hope we get called by those smaller hands. Or if you had a hand like Jack 8 suited or something, which he was just taking a pot control line with. Pair of jacks here, we open, we see bet the flop. We could check call the turn. I don't expect the guy to have too many queens unless it's queen x of diamonds. I don't expect him to have too many sets or two pairs because he might raise that flop. However, we are deep, so maybe I do take a check call line and check call the river. The river, yeah, I guess a check and possibly a fold. If we think the guy's got a 9, or if we think, or if the reason is we're checking to call because we think he's got a misdraw. But I definitely wouldn't lead out there. I don't think there's anything we can really guarantee value from, so I'd be check calling if I think he was on a draw, or check folding if I think he had a made hand. Sky Poker is in pounds, so the games do play a little bit bigger, but I think that's what makes the game so soft. You just got a load of these little UK sports betters who just hop on, dump 5, 10, 20k. Even honestly, like if you play micro stakes as well, I've done videos of my own on my account, showing how to move up the stakes from 4NL to 10NL, 20NL, 50NL, 30NL, and so on. It's just a gold mine. And and now you can get a 30% flat rate rake back plus promos. It's definitely a no-brainer for me. The rake is slightly higher, obviously, but the games are a lot softer. So I'd say at least give it a shot. So we open 7-10 and 4-5 on the buttons, both absolutely respectable. Can probably fire out a C-bet there. Yeah, half pot. I like it. Maybe he's been listening to me. I've tried to show him some videos and just teach him a few things, so it looks good. We fire out the 4-5 on a deuce 9-10, basically just praying for a fold because obviously a lot of things hit this kind of board, but we do get some hands to fold. Is it just me? Lockdown's only on 2 tables right now, top right and bottom middle. Looks like he's having a look, see what else is going on, see if he can get any 10-20. Nope, just having a look through. Okay, cool. All in there and a fold. No massive pots yet, but they will be coming. I do guarantee throughout this video series you will be entertained by the way he plays. Please leave any comments below. I'll try and get him to come on answer any questions, but definitely just leave any towards me and I'll always answer. If you need any help signing up as well, let me know. And once you do sign up, send me a PM or leave a message on the forum so I can get your username and email. Kings here, bet sizing wise, it does look very strong, which is one of the issues. But when we've got Style there, who are really deep against, I owned you 3-betting an undergun open. Even though I guess Run It's Ran is a fish, just because he doesn't have 100 big blinds is the only reason I'm saying that. So he might be getting 3-bet a little bit lighter. Maybe we could have just gone for like 100 and 108, 102, 104, but to be honest, no matter what we do, it looks strong. Doesn't really matter anyway, as we run kings into aces. 6 or a king. Brick. Nice hand for aces there. Happy days. That's a decent four-figure pot to win. Nice cooler. That could tilt Blizzy. He is a prolific tilter, so stay tuned. Pair of fives, we've gone ahead and bet on a 4-6 queen. I think we could maybe take a check call line. Even check fold sometimes. Maybe that's a bit too passive. But the bet gets through and it works. I just feel like sometimes there we're kind of holding our breath. Now we've folded 7-10 offsuit, so as you can see, there's no real button range for Blizzy. He opens it sometimes, he folds it sometimes. I think he should just be min raising or 2.5xing just a lot of buttons. Probably just min raising, it's fine. Ace Jack is definitely an open pre-flop before I handed it in the calf. We're going for a half pot here and a king high board. I like it. We get called. He's going to have a decent amount of small pairs here, I think. Not too many king X's. I think it's going to be a lot of, 4s, 5s, 6s, 9s. So we could have maybe barreled the turn there. I think that's exactly what we're going to be shown. Oh, we actually get shown ace jack with ace of spades. That makes some sense. Surprised he didn't 3-bet at pre-flop. Four-handed, being aggressive. But I guess because they had 200 big blinds deep, maybe he just wants to play that opposition. But I think we could have put a bit more pressure on there. If you just think about what they're calling with pre-flop, it makes it a lot easier. It's generally just not, that many big premium hands because they sort of 3-bet. It's going to be a lot of sort of smaller pairs, maybe suited connectors that we get value from. King deuce looks like we're going for a 3-bet. I guess that's fine. We get called and we hit a king. Maybe check here, bet the turn, or check and then call down. Yeah, I think betting's fine there. We're going to get called by some draws. Although I think quite a few hands that do calls might be better than ours. So we could have maybe checked and then just called a river bet, or maybe check back to showdown. But I think it's fine. Fine to sort of bet if we think we are going to get called by worse. But I'm just not too sure how many hands are worse than ours there. Ace queen here. I like the squeeze. I like the sizing. Probably check call this flop. Obviously, we rep these boards pretty well. Style's going to have a couple of tens. He's going to have a couple of kings. But we do get him to sort of bet his draws. Maybe just bet his complete air. And with our, ace, our gut shot, and our backdoor flush draw, I think it's absolutely fine to go ahead and check call. Quick check back by Style. He's going to have quite a few smaller pairs, but I'm not too sure if he bets the flop with them, so I'm happy to check and go to showdown and expect to win a decent amount there. He could obviously have a flush, like a small flush, but the way he played it, it just doesn't feel like a made hand at all. It would have been interesting if Blizzy could have hit the hand history button for us there so we could see. I have actually told him because in videos if he could, so hopefully he will start doing it, but sadly he didn't do it first that time, seems to not care. Jacks, four-handed, obviously a monster. Ace Queen, I like the 3-bet, but one thing I have just noticed is the 3-bet to 80 with King Deuce. He 3-bet to 90 with Ace Queen, maybe just keep that a bit more consistent. Pocket Jacks, we see bet the flop, and then we should just check call the turn. Very easy check call here. And then I would also check call the river. Obviously the draw missed. He could have a 6. He obviously could have flopped a made hand, but I think a lot of time he's just going to be turning something into a bluff possibly, or just have pure air and be bluffing. So I probably call pretty quickly if he bets, but luckily he checks and we get to go to showdown for free and scoop a £148.20 pot. Interesting that he folded Jack 7 suited there when like down opened. I think it is a fold, but from what he tells me, he just doesn't fold to him. Pocket 8s here, I like a C-bet. Half pot's absolutely fine. We're going to get called by, his ace 4s, his ace 5s, his general ace highs, a deuce to 3, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s. So we get called by a lot of hands that we crush. 10 on the turn doesn't really change much. We can check though to control the size of the pot. Not the best run out here, but I don't know if I'd really believe if he bet. If he bet, he'd be repping like backdoor clubs, king jack, maybe I had like ace jack. So I don't know if I would believe this necessarily. I think that might be like an ace 4 or ace 5. It's a tough call to make in game, but it just doesn't make all that much sense. Looks like he's looking at the lobby again. No more games. He potted it under the gun. I like potting under the gun. It's something I think is pretty good. I think he could probably pot from all positions with his premiums if he's getting a ton of action. Ace Jack looks like we've gone for a C bet into Jimbok, who he's got marked as a fish. Once we get snap called, he's just going to have a lot of pocket pairs there, basically. Fish generally either don't fold, well, yeah, don't fold or go crazy, so I might just give up here. You know, check, maybe hit a 4, maybe hit an ace or a jack, or just be happy to check fold. So again, if you want to sign up, PokerVIP.com/deals. If you sign up because of this video as well, let me know once you're deposited. I'll send you out a free PokerVIP goodie bag, some t-shirts, some patches, some really cool stuff. Pair of threes here, we can probably just fold pre-flop. I don't think we need to defend with them. King 10 suited, 3-bet or fold generally, even though we are really deep. I quite like a 3-bet when deep here actually. Put him under some pressure, you know, can bomb some flops and turns. Looks like we've gone for a half pot. I think we just get called a lot there. It does work though. Ace and suited on the button, definitely an open. King Jack, I think we fold. Yeah, I don't think we need to get into any cold 4-betting or peeling of 3-bets. Lockdown's instantly 4-bet the guy. Pretty small 4-bet as well. Out of position. Only 160. Be interesting if a big pot develops. Looks like we peeled a 6-3 suited and hit a pretty decent flop. We could probably lead the turn, get, you know, sort of his high cards to fold, although we could just argue the fact that if we do get called, it's generally by better. If we check the flop, he might bluff. So maybe a check call is actually the best move there. And while the guy checks Jack 9 and checks it back, maybe a bit of a cautious check there, but maybe he just wonders what worse he's getting called by. Pocket sixes, we peel small blind versus button. You could argue a 3-bet there, but I guess he's just playing cautious. I'm not too sure how Lack reacts once he does 3-bet, but maybe that played into his decision. Looks like it's the end of a video, so a short one here. See if there are any more hands. Nope, okay, so that was the life and times of, the ups and downs of, the degenerate life of, the broke Bilzerian, the man we call Blizzy video. He was playing a mixture of games, 400, 500 and 1k NL, 5 tables. Hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for the rest of the videos for some big pots. Some of the videos will have a lot of action, some may not, but I'm sure altogether you will be entertained. Bit of strategy in there by myself. So hopefully you learned something, maybe agreed or disagreed with some of the lines I was arguing Blizzy to take. Leave a comment in the section below. Do make sure you sign up, you know, even if it's just to check out the games, but make sure you do sign up through us because we are the only place that will give you the rake back, the deposit bonus and the promotions on top of it. And also obviously the goodie bag. Sister John for PokerVIP.com. Good luck at the tables.